I cheated on my wife. She left without saying a single word, and now I don't know how to get her back. I'm 35, she's 36. I fully understand what I did. I know I was wrong. What we had was something beautiful, something real. She is still the love of my life. We were together for 10 years, 2 years dating, and 8 years married. And I destroyed everything with one terrible mistake. One single time. One damn time. Somehow she found out. And to this day, I don't even know how, because after that I never got the chance to talk to her. I assumed she found something on my phone. That day I came home like usual, but everything felt wrong. The house felt empty in a way I can't describe. I realized almost immediately that her things were gone. I panicked, started calling her again and again, but the calls wouldn't even connect. Then I noticed documents on the table, divorce papers. Under them was a note that said, "This is what happens to cheaters." That was the last thing I ever received from her. That was 2 years ago. Of course, I contacted the lawyer listed on the documents. He became the only bridge between us. But all he said was that he represented her interests and that she didn't want to see me. I got angry. I argued. I tried to convince him, but in the end, he only told me that I should get my own lawyer. I didn't want to. I absolutely refused to accept that 10 years of my life could just end like this. I know I'm guilty, but I always wanted to fix everything. I truly believe that if she had given me one chance, I could have made her fall in love with me again, the same gentle, unique woman I met more than 10 years ago. Couples survive things like this all the time. Why couldn't we be one of them? Why, after 8 years of marriage, was I thrown away like trash because of one mistake? I didn't deserve this level of coldness. I haven't seen her or heard her voice for 2 years. 2 years without seeing or speaking to the person you love more than anything in the world feels like an unbelievably cruel punishment. This situation destroyed me emotionally, mentally, and even physically. I started drinking unhealthy amounts, sometimes barely eating for weeks, barely sleeping. I became a zombie, just existing on autopilot. I wanted to die, and the only thing keeping me alive was the hope that she would come back. My therapist says the hardest part is when there is no closure because your brain can't accept that it's over. You keep expecting a knock on the door, or you wake up thinking the person will be there next to you. The divorce was finalized more than a year ago, and I'll be honest, I didn't make it easy. I didn't want the divorce, and I still don't understand how it even happened. I begged her to go to couples therapy, but she refused. According to my lawyer, her own lawyer advised her to at least try a few sessions, but she still said no. Everything dragged on for a long time, but eventually the divorce went through. The feeling is impossible to describe, like a part of me was ripped out. I know I hurt her. I know I failed her. But don't we all deserve a second chance? When the pain became unbearable, I finally started therapy. My therapist never gives advice on how to get her back. He only focuses on helping me move on. People tell me to meet new women, to go on dates, but I don't want to. At this point, even intimacy means nothing to me. A few days ago, something happened that completely broke me. I was at home with a friend. We were drinking beer, both pretty drunk. I started talking about my wife. He said, "You need to make more effort to forget her. She's already moved on and is living her life. You should do the same. You can't spend your whole life drowning in self-pity." Something in his words hit me, but not in the way he expected. He spoke with such confidence, like he knew for a fact that my wife was happy and had completely forgotten about me. How did he know that? I got angry and started pressing him for answers. He refused to talk. I insisted, begged, cried, asked him to tell me anything at all. I needed to know something about her. And eventually, he admitted it. He finally admitted that his wife had been in contact with mine for almost a year. They were close friends. I even remember how Sabrina, his wife, was upset when she lost contact with her. It turns out my wife moved to Norway, got married there, and is now about 7 months pregnant. When I heard that, it felt like my heart literally stopped. I genuinely felt like I wanted to die in that moment. How could she do this to me? How could it be that while I was drinking, crying, missing her, and want to die every single day, she was happy on the other side of the world, married, sleeping with another man, pregnant with his child? How is it possible that after so many years together we never had a child, and now she gets pregnant so easily with someone else? At some point, I even started thinking she was infertile, and now suddenly this happens. Where did this man even come from? I don't have answers to any of these questions, and I can't move forward without them. The only explanation my mind keeps producing is that she slept with the first Norwegian guy she met out of revenge, got pregnant, and decided to keep the baby. Maybe she married him just to stay in the country legally. I don't know. In many countries, marriage helps with documents. These thoughts are driving me insane. I refuse to believe she's actually in love with him. I need to talk to her to hear her voice, to understand what is really going on. Because the way she's acting makes it feel like our 10 years together and 8 years of marriage meant absolutely nothing. I feel everything boiling inside me. I want to go to where she lives and find her. But how? I don't even know which city she's in. I don't have her number. She closed all her social media. Her family is small, they live in another country, and every single one of them blocked me. I'm completely lost. I don't know what to do. I still want her back, even pregnant. It feels like I'm stuck in a nightmare, and I desperately need to wake up. After I share my story online, I read almost all the comments, and when I say almost all, I really mean it. It was hard to process the amount of cruelty people directed at me. It felt like everyone forgot they were talking to a living human being, not an object. I share my story, hoping for at least a little compassion. Only 2 people showed real empathy, and their words genuinely helped me a bit. I'm not looking for excuses, and I don't want anyone to say I did the right thing. I know I didn't, and I live with that every day. It seems most people here have no idea what a broken heart actually feels like, or what it's like when you're unable to let someone go. You don't choose who you love, and you don't decide when you stop loving someone. That happens when it happens. For those who doubt my story, unfortunately, it's real. I wish it was fiction, but it's not, and I have to live with this nightmare every single day. Everyone keeps saying she must be happy now. I don't know how you could be so sure. I haven't seen her in 2 years. I have no idea if she's happy or not. Pregnancy doesn't automatically mean happiness, and neither does marriage. None of us know the circumstances under which she got married. Maybe she got pregnant, felt lonely in a foreign country where she had no one, and simply clung to the first person who was there. Of course, I blame myself. None of this would have happened if I had been a better man and a better husband. But I can't change what I did. All I can do is try to fix it. But how do you fix something when the other person doesn't even want to give you that chance? Some people wrote that she doesn't owe me a second chance. That was painful to read, but maybe they're right. Maybe she really doesn't owe me anything. I never openly accused her of being infertile. It was just a thought. We both saw doctors, and both of our tests were normal. I never understood why we couldn't conceive, and yes, the thought that she might be infertile crossed my mind, just like the thought that maybe I was infertile too. But statistically, infertility is more often linked to the female factor, so that's probably why I thought that way. People wrote horrible things about me, like that I might hurt her if she were nearby. That's insane. I never raised my hand to her, and I never would. I'm not an abuser, and I'm not a monster. I understand why it's hard for people to sympathize with me. I know I screwed up. I know I caused her unimaginable pain. But I'm not a monster or a narcissist. Some people said I never loved her, because if I did, I wouldn't have cheated. That's not fair. Do you really think you get to decide what love is for someone else? Do you think you can look into my head or my heart? Because if you could, you'd know exactly how I feel. You don't get to tell me I didn't love her. Since the day she left, there hasn't been a single day I haven't regretted what I did. No one can say that isn't love. People are far more complicated than many here seem to think. Cheating doesn't automatically mean the absence of love or feelings. I call what I did a mistake. What else am I supposed to call it? Taking responsibility means admitting you made a mistake. But everyone twisted my words like I was trying to justify myself, even though that's not true. You completely distorted my meaning. I don't even know how deeply I hurt her. Maybe in my post, I focused too much on myself because I never got the chance to explain myself to her in person. Ever since then, I've been trying to piece together a story that simply doesn't make sense. I lost everything in a single moment. I was just trying to be honest about my feelings, but apparently that doesn't work here. At least not for me. What do you think about this story? Was I wrong? Or is there more to it than it seems? Write your thoughts in the comments below. I really want to know what you think. And now, let's move on to the next story. I never thought I'd question a friendship this deeply, But here, I'm wondering if I was wrong for finally walking away from someone who drained me emotionally for years. I'm 16 now, and I've known this friend for about 4 years, ever since the time when I was living in Canada. We were really close back then, but about 2 years ago, I moved back to Korea, and since then, we've barely seen each other in person. Over time, it started to feel like we had less and less in common, but I still cared about her a lot. Lately, my life has been extremely stressful because I'm preparing for the Korean University entrance exam, which is intense and consumes almost all my time and energy. I barely have time to text anyone, including her, but even when I'm exhausted and overwhelmed, I still think about her constantly. When studying gets really hard, I tell myself that one day I'll see her again, and that thought actually motivates me to keep going. Despite all that, she started accusing me of lying. She told me I wasn't actually studying and that I was just pretending to be busy while secretly playing games. That hurt more than I can explain because I genuinely am working hard, not just for myself, but for my future. Hearing things like "you're not even studying" or "why are you lying about studying" made me angry and deeply disappointed. How could she say that to someone who is pushing themselves every day for their future? On top of that, she talks to me in a very condescending way, like she's constantly trying to correct me or prove that she's smarter. Whenever I say something slightly inaccurate, she immediately jumps in with comments like, "Are you sure?" and then mocks me for it. After a while, I completely lost respect for her. Then something else happened that really crossed a line for me. I don't post selfies very often, maybe once or twice a month on Instagram stories. One day she saw a photo I posted and called me a catfish, saying I look completely different in real life. I was furious, but instead of starting a fight, I left her message on read and didn't respond. She also got angry that I stopped posting selfies on Snapchat. I used to send face pictures just to maintain our streak, but recently I've been sending random photos of my wall, my figurines, or my drawings because I don't want to take selfies every single day. For context, a streak on Snapchat is basically a counter showing how many days two people have sent each other photos in a row, like a daily friendship challenge. Anyway, she got upset and said something like, "Why don't you show your face anymore? You're pretty, so why not show it?" But whether I post selfies or not is my choice, and it felt strange that she was angry about something so personal. Honestly, she treats me like an emotional trash can. Whenever she fights with her boyfriend, her parents, or her friends, she dumps everything on me. I don't mind listening sometimes, but it became constant. Almost every day, she would unload her problems on me and expect me to comfort her and calm her down. She always wanted me to take her side, even when she was clearly wrong. She'd say things like, "I'm right, aren't I?" and basically pressure me into agreeing with her. If I didn't answer her calls, she accused me of avoiding her or being a bad friend. When we did talk, our calls lasted 3 to 5 hours, sometimes even longer, and I had no time left for myself or my studies. When I told her I needed to hang up, she'd keep talking for another 20 minutes, completely ignoring my boundaries. If I ever tried to set limits, she'd become rude and make me feel guilty for it. One day I told her I couldn't talk because my teeth were hurting badly. I wear an aligner to fix my bite, and I hadn't worn it for 4 days, so the pain was intense. I simply said I couldn't talk that day because my teeth hurt. Instead of showing any empathy, she immediately started talking about herself, saying how she once had 2 wisdom teeth removed, got 8 injections at her jaw, couldn't eat properly, and how painful her surgery was. She kept going on and on about her experience, and it felt like my pain meant absolutely nothing to her. After a while, I started listening to her less, not because I didn't care, but because I was completely exhausted. Then something happened that made everything clearer. She sent an ad video to another friend, and that friend said it looked fake. My friend started mocking her, saying things like, "You're wrong, you don't know anything," the exact same way she used to talk to me. I calmly said that I also thought it looked like bait advertising. Suddenly, she got angry and said, "Why are you taking her side? You never support me." Fine, then I won't act supportive either. Recently, she started trash-talking that same friend again, and I finally snapped. I told her that in life, people lose friends and find new ones, and you have to learn from it and move on. I told her I couldn't be involved anymore and asked her to stop talking to me about that girl. She replied, "Fine, I get it. If you ever have a hard situation in your life, I won't listen to you either." The very next day, my hamster, whom I loved more than anything, became seriously ill. She had cysts in her uterus, and after surgery, she developed sepsis. She was dying. I told my friend what was happening, and her response was, "You wasted your money on that surgery." I completely lost it. I yelled at her and asked how she could say something so cruel about my only pet, basically a member of my family. I was crying because my hamster was dying, and she told me to just buy another one and even said it was just a stupid hamster. I couldn't believe she was speaking to me like that. When I asked why she would say something so heartless, she answered, "You didn't take my side before, remember? You said that's just life, so now I'm saying the same thing." That was the moment everything ended for me. I blocked her and ended the friendship. Even after all of that, she never apologized. I told her that what she goes through and what I go through are not the same. And when someone is dying, even if it's a hamster, you support the person instead of mocking them. She still blamed me. Now I can't stop wondering if I was wrong for not listening to her problems all the time. I understand that sometimes it's normal to listen to a friend, but constantly carrying someone else's personal struggles for hours every day is exhausting. And I honestly don't know if I was ever allowed to be human in that friendship. At this point, I just want to know what you think. Was I wrong for walking away, or was this friendship already over long before I blocked her? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more real stories like this.